You're now watching The Wash Daily. There's a group looking to set community standards for energy use and water usage, resource use, and resource management for cannabis companies. Not just big, giant cannabis companies, but also for small growers. The group is looking to establish benchmarks on how much water should be used per plant and how much land space, acceptable methods of farming, and how much energy is being used for lighting. There's a little form you can fill out and they ask you a bunch of questions about your particular grow. They're looking for even the smallest growers to the largest growers. They're looking to establish a set of community benchmarks that looks at how cannabis is grown and makes the most efficient use of resources in that way. It's going to be like an Energy Star rating for cannabis companies, whether or not that cannabis was grown efficiently or not. The group's members come from a number of different industries related to cannabis growing, from irrigation to horticulture. The folks in the board expressed that there's concern that some of the numbers being used for cannabis are pretty high. One example is they would say that plants needed 6 gallons of water, where the people who are actually involved in the industry would argue that it's more about a gallon a day per plant. Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission has established what's known as the Cannabis Power Score. And the Power Score takes into account the amount of power used to grow the cannabis and also its resource management. More scientists are saying that cannabis might be the answer to COVID-19. High THC cannabis sativa has been proposed to modulate gene expression and inflammation. Cannabis seems to harbor anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory properties. The scientists feel like this may do a lot in the way of treating the COVID-19. And if cannabis can be part of it, that's great. Also in news, Oregon has issued its first recall of cannabis from a dispensary. But they said they had about 80 grams of the strain Blue Magoo, and when tested positive for some pesticide. The strain was made available to the public for about 2 to 3 days before they realized that Oregon's had some big trouble with their testing facility. In 2016, their testing was very stringent and took a long time, and it caused a lot of people to lose a lot of money. It also drove people to the black market. The growers whose cannabis wasn't being allowed into the legal market, they feel like was going right to the illegal market. And so many feel like it was a step in the wrong direction. They had to loosen up their testing requirement. Well, now they've tested positive for some pesticide, and that's not good either. There was a study in 2017 that 20% of the businesses for cannabis were failing. So it's a tough time to run a business in Oregon. Thanks for watching The Wash Daily.